Hello, IGN. My name is Jose Otero. I am here with Brendan Graver.
Hi.
And this is a Rewind Theater for a new game from Nintendo coming out this holiday. It is Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which, when it was announced, we did not have a ton of insight because this trailer doesn't do a great job of telling you what's happening.
It's a slice of life.
It is a slice of life, but let's pause here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a board game. This is basically Animal Crossing meets the game of life.
A little bit of Mario Party.
Yeah,
in there.
and Mario Party mini game styles in there. Brendan, why don't we kick things off with sort of what we suspect is happening? So far it is June 1st. You
June
can see
1st. So it looks like you can choose the month you want to start.
Yep. So this is summer.
Different times of the year had different
Seasons.
events. I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have our 4 amiibo that have been announced. Mabel, Tom Nook, KK Slider, and Isabel. Hopefully we'll get some more because I really want some other
let's
people.
talk about these tiles right here, right?
The tiles.
What do we
yeah.
suspect these
we see
are
one
doing?
for Bells, and someone being happy, and one for sad-looking Bells. And you see one later, one for sad person.
Anti-Bells.
Yeah, one for sad people and sad Bells.
Yeah, and so then you pick your direction. A quick thing to note too is that she gained some happiness just for rolling.
Yeah.
She got 1.
So your main currencies are happiness and money.
Yeah.
Bells.
Your goal is to be the happiest person on the island
Yeah.
at the end of a game, and you can see the map over on the right with all the paths that you can probably tape. In Animal Crossing style, I would not be surprised if that map is different.
I hope so. That would be really nice.
Yeah, like there's different board games, different variations, or different takes on it. So just putting that out there.
I also noticed that it actually tells you what you're going to land on. When she decides to change, it shows a little icon of happiness and bells. Back from down there would have been just bells.
Okay, got it.
Which is
so
nice. You have to constantly look at where you're going.
She's going for it.
So because she landed on there, she got 3 happiness and 800 bells.
Okay.
And I like how every space it's a story.
Yep. That so far is sort of the thing that is keeping me interested is that when you land on a tile, it's sort of in board game fashion. You know, you're drawing a card and finding out, well, here's what happened.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
In the game of Animal Crossing Life.
Yeah, exactly.
So he lands on a sad one and no money, so he loses money and happiness.
And let's just go here. So how much happiness did he lose?
He
Sorry,
lost
that.
2 and 300 bells.
300 for a bad haircut. Let's just talk about that. All right, so keep going.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
All
this. Right. So now we've noticed that it's now 13 days into June, and we've also noticed that now every space has a turnip icon.
Thank you. I wanted to point that out. And if you look, so this probably has to do with if you've played Animal Crossing, you know that there is an exchange rate for turnips, and when do you cash in and when do you not? There seems to be sort of a random take on that. At least I hope so, because, man, 351 for turnips, is that bells? Are you getting 351?
That's a nice exchange rate
per turnip.
And it's even this one that's a negative space still has plus turnip rate.
Okay,
so you could land on a bad space but still make a profit.
Yeah, but you're not getting happiness while you're at it.
Oh yeah.
You get no happiness for the high exchange rate on that.
Also, this is where the game gets too meta for me. We played a board game, video game, and had a lot of fun. Oh, what game is that? Oh, it's the game you're playing.
I'll get over it. But more importantly, the whole team got 5 happiness points
Interesting
each.
to note because the space he landed on was happiness plus bells, but he only got happiness, but so did everybody else.
Yeah.
Unlike what Isabel got when she landed on her space.
Yep. So it's interesting, like, does that mean you're getting both or you're getting one or the other? Now, here we notice something interesting in that the fox is on every icon here. Yes, Cousin Red is on every other tile for the most part.
Every 2, yeah.
Okay, and we just don't know what happens when you land on him. Like, is this a specific mini game? It's also different time of day in this shot. It looks
kind of
like
it's evening.
Yeah, definitely. Sun
and
is
then
setting.
Similar to like a Mario Party style where you run into someone else on the board, you can do that too. And an event happens where they have to split their money because they dropped it.
And
which is
that
nice.
hurts if you were the guy with the lower amount.
And now we see a little mini-game event with Katrina. I'm assuming that she might appear at some point. You could land on her space.
Yeah.
There's another one for Phineas.
Yep.
With a very one-sided wheel.
That is just not fair.
I wonder what this one is.
Yeah. I think that's everyone will probably get something. Maybe, if I had to guess. And then Joan's visit. So I do want to point out here, though, that these visits, we're kind of split on what this means, right? Are these either random events? Like, if you're following Happy Home Designer, you would know that in that game, people randomly show up who you're going to design homes for. But if you have those Amiibo cards, which they have said work with this game, you can summon those people. So the big question for me is, are you using those same cards to do a similar action? Because it would make sense. The cards are very specific to each character.
I also think that a lot of these events triggered by different days. Like you see on 6/17 Wednesday, Joan shows up. On 6/9 Tuesday, Katie shows up.
And Joan is the Bells, the turnip lady,
as
we all know and love.
And then there's an event where she got that. And then this right now on June 20th, a Saturday, which is usually when bug catching contests are held, we have a bug catching contest. And you see that it looks like all the ones you can see, all the spaces are now nets.
Yep.
And
but most of them are green except for the one that Mabel's standing on right now.
Yeah, she landed on a gold one, and she gets a nice butterfly, and she ends up winning.
Yep. So you'll definitely getting a peek here of the mini games in that aspect of this, because there are going to be mini games as part of it.
And I do think that it's tied to also the time of the season.
But it's interesting to me because in that mini game, that would be dictated by a dice roll instead of like you actually playing a mini game by skill, right?
Yeah,
like, there are mini games in Animal Crossing that you can play with other people.
There doesn't seem to be, at least that we've seen, any kind of like Mario Party mini games.
Yeah.
These are more just land on a space and see what happens.
Yeah, and there's a random event or a random chance you can get that, essentially.
Yeah. And
then here's the final results, and we've been arguing about this for like 5 minutes before this recording, but Brendan is going to walk you through what happens at the end.
So at the end of the game, I'm assuming end of the month. I don't know for sure. They don't show the date here, but I'm assuming it's the end of the month. You tally up who is the happiest. And so at the start, we can see where everyone started at, which was Isabel has 101 happiness.
First place.
25,000 bells. Tom Nook 89, 31,000. Mabel has 92 and 30,000, and then we have KK Slider with 90 and 31.
And a reminder for folks is this game, the winner is decided by happiness.
Yes.
Your bells don't mean anything. Because according to bells, Isabel would be losing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bells do equate into happiness. We can see them now tallying down, and if you look from the start to the end, Isabel went from 25,875 to just 875.
So she gained
25 happiness
points per 1,000 bells. This was
money can buy happiness.
Not all of it, apparently.
Only
1,000. Yeah, you need 1,000 to be able to do it. But you'll see here. So KK was able to take the lead because he had enough money to.
Yeah, he didn't have enough happiness to start, but he had more money than Isabel.
So money can buy you happiness,
and
kids.
it could buy you first place.
And first place. Now you know. But there you have it. That is our Rewind Theater for Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Nintendo has said this game is coming out this holiday. For more Animal Crossing coverage, you are already in the right place. IGN.